Right, hello and welcome. Today we are going over an insanely powerful Ford Mustang, but this is a Ford Mustang that can actually handle the power. This is the Ford Mustang Gr3 road car. Yes, the fully fledged out track looking monster that is, according to Gran Turismo, legal on the road. So this Ford Mustang will set you back 300,000 credits, and what you will get for that money is a naturally aspirated V8 that produces 502 brake horsepower. It's front engine rear wheel drive, which means it has a classic Mustang performance and handling, and it only comes in at a weight of 3,307 pounds, which is 1,500 kgs. Now, this vehicle in its standard form is all good and fun. However, we aren't focusing on this vehicle in its standard form. No, if you want to see that video, I will link it somewhere in this video, because fun fact, this was actually one of the first cars I ever reviewed in Gran Turismo 7. So, fully upgraded, the Ford Mustang Gr3 road car produces 661 brake horsepower and still has a weight of 1,500 kgs. And that's because with the Group 3 road cars, you can't apply any weight reduction to them at all, so they are locked in at whatever weight they come with standard. So how does this feel going around the circuit? If we head on over to Kyoto Driving Park, you are gonna have a lot of fun. When I tell you, the Mustang actually feels slightly underpowered. Don't get me wrong, the power is there. However, you can see this Mustang having a lot more power, being able to handle a lot more power. Because I mean, even down the straightaway, you are traveling at only like 240 kilometers per hour, which is nothing. There's no real oomph or a lot of performance or power behind that. I mean, you'll see other street cars doing well over 250, 260, and then you get the mad ones that are doing over 300. So the Ford Mustang Gr3 road car isn't really top of like pushing the limit when it comes to a road car. But when it comes to overall performance for a Ford Mustang with no traction control on, I mean, it does have racing softs, the vehicle has a ton of grip, and this is including the fact that it has no big rear wing creating any downforce on the rear. I think it has a ducktail, if I'm not mistaken, and that's producing barely any downforce. But the vehicle around the circuit, you're setting lap times around a 1 minute 35 second mark if you are really pushing it. But if you aren't the fastest driver out there, you might find yourself doing 1 minute 36 to 1 minute 37 in this vehicle. I don't know, the vehicle just seems like it could be a lot faster, but it isn't. All of that changes when you decide, you know what, I want a bit more power. Because you can then head on over to GT Auto and pick up an engine swap. And it's not any old engine swap. No, well, I mean, it is kind of an old engine. You can purchase the Windsor 351 out of the GAC Maverick. And for 250,000 credits, honestly, this has to be the most affordable engine swap out there compared to how much power you actually get out of it. Because for 250,000 credits, you get 1,199 brake horsepower. For 250,000, that is absolute pennies. So now when you head on over to tuning shop, you can still add performance parts to increase their power figure, and once after spending a bit more money, you're going to be left with 1,408 brake horsepower. So 1,400 horsepower in a rear wheel drive Mustang, that could mean death. However, that's not the case with this Ford Mustang. Now, yes, it does have the occasional understeer, but that was there when you drove the vehicle in its standard state, or even with it being fully upgraded. Now, when it comes to exiting corners, this is usually where it gets a lot more sketchy. And to be honest with you, this Ford Mustang can handle the power. Now, don't get it wrong, the Ford Mustang will step out every now and then. It does have its moments where you're like, okay, you know what, we need to calm down, it's getting a bit sketchy. But overall, I enjoyed every single minute being behind the wheel of a Ford Mustang. Ford Mustang was just such an enjoyable experience overall, because the car, you're able to push it and it understands, it listens to you, and it just keeps you in line. You aren't really fighting for it, but if you want to get it to start sliding, you absolutely can. Now, the real downside when it comes to using this Ford Mustang has to be if you're thinking of using it for, how do I say, for money grinding events, or events that has fuel economy applied, like fuel consumption applied to the event, because then I can tell you now, it's gonna be terrible. This V8 absolutely guzzles fuel, so it's not the best out there for actually producing power. So the Ford Mustang Group 3 road car, it is fun. However, you can also swap the same engine into another Ford Mustang, and if I'm gonna be completely honest with you there, I prefer it in the other Mustang. Yes, the Ford Shelby GT350 can receive the same engine swap, and I do prefer it in there. There's just something about, I don't know, the Group 3 car that doesn't give the same feeling or sensation as the Shelby GT350. With the Shelby GT350, it just makes me feel more alive, with the fact of, okay, you know what, at any moment it can snap, at the same time it holds the power, and it's scary fast, and it just puts a smile on your face. Whereas with the Group 3 car, it's like, okay, this is what it's gonna do, you expect it. Whereas in time, that can actually get a bit boring. So look, I'm not gonna put it down to say, you know what, this is a terrible vehicle or it's not worth your time. I'm gonna be completely honest with you here. If you do get caught sleeping or not focusing when driving the Group 3 Ford Mustang, well, the vehicle will overtake, the rear end will overtake you, you will spin out, so you do need to focus. But it's not that difficult to drive, and after a good few laps in the car, you might get kind of bored. So I'm not gonna sell it to you as being like, oh, this is the best engine swap out there. When it comes to using a Ford Mustang Group 3 road car, I don't care also driving park. If you're looking to set fast lap times, I do suggest swapping the engine into it, because we see that my fastest lap time was a 1 minute 32, with actually being able to set a 1 minute 31 with absolute ease. The Ford Mustang is a lot better now with the engine swap. However, it's the Ford Mustang Group 3 race car, road car. It's okay, it's fun, but it's not really wowing or gonna blow you away. It's an okay engine swap, and look, if you wanna try it out, by all means go for it, you won't be disappointed. But I am just saying, it's not the best thing out there. So with all this being said, I hope you guys do go on to enjoy this video. Don't forget, leave a like and subscribe for more Gran Turismo 7 content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.